welcome to another episode of the Dr. Music Podcast, where I have with me today members of Crashing Wayward. I have Stacey David Blades, I have Shon McKee, and I have David Harris. Crashing Wayward is a Las Vegas-based band that is one of the very first artists signed to the Ron Keel's RFK media label. The band has released a single with a video for the song Breathe from a full-length record that they have coming in early 2023, hopefully, maybe. We're going to find out more about that and what's on the agenda for the future of Crashing Wayward. Guys, I so appreciate y'all being here, man. It's so cool.
Thanks, Scott.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot of people here tuned in that haven't heard Crashing Wayward yet. I've only heard a couple of songs. Describe the sound. What are we going to hear when we hear Crashing Wayward?
Go ahead, Dave.
I think you're going to hear some big guitar riffs, huge vocals, slamming drums. It's to me, it's a mix between Rival Sons meets The Cult meets Stone Temple Pilots. It's like the best of those bands. Nice. Then with melodies sprinkled into that.
Yeah, it's interesting, Scott, because you can have 10 different people hear the two songs that we've put out, and you get a different reaction from everybody. Mm-hmm. Everything from Maroon 5 to I don't think we sound anything like, but there was a reaction like that to like Dave said, Rival Sons to Stone Temple Pilots to Shine Down to several others. So it's kind of interesting how people perceive the band. So it's got a lot of different elements. There's there's a lot of there's some early 80s new wave, modern rock, retro, punk, straight ahead rock. It's like we're all about sound and just mixing lots of different things. So you can't really pigeonhole us into one category.
Yeah. And I was going to say, all those different opinions, I think it's great. I think it's great that people hear Maroon 5. I don't hear it out of the two, but I think it's great. That's what makes it an adventure, I think.
Yeah.
It's way cool. And I know you guys got different influences. I know Peter, our singer, of course, Peter Summit, is really you mentioned 80s new wave and stuff. He's big Duran fan.
Yeah.
So I hear these tunes, and I hear a lot of 90s Stone Temple Pilots you mentioned, and I hate to say this, but I kind of miss the 90s a little bit. I love that. There are so many great bands from that time, and it was a unique sound.
Yes.
I'm a 70s guy. I grew up in the 80s, really too. But those 90s bands, they're not around anymore. So, you guys bring all of that, I think. So it's a great sound from what I hear from the couple of tunes. I can't wait to hear more, man.
Yeah, the album's very strong, wide range of different stuff on it. So we spent, what was it? Almost 18 months on this record.
Cool. So you had plenty of time over the pandemic, right?
Yeah. Speaking of that, that's kind of where we started as a band, minus Shon, and it was actually still being called this band. And then we played the Viper Room, and right before the pandemic hit, and then it was like, well, I guess we're not playing this year. So it gave us the luxury of really getting to know each other really well and musically, and just really experimenting and finding our sound. So that was actually really a journey.
Yeah, that's great. It's great. Now, Shon, I know you played with Ron Keel in his band.
Yep.
And you guys have that connection. How does the signing happen? Ron starts the new label. he's all over you guys. I hear him say Stranger Days, which we haven't heard. He's heard. It was a game changer for him. He loves you guys. And here's a quote. Crashing Wayward is one of those rare acts with the potential to make musical history. That's a big quote from a veteran.
That's pretty cool.
It's way cool. So he loves you guys. How does the signing happen? Does he come to you and say, "Hey, I want you on my label"? Do you hear he's making a label? Do you go to him? How does that happen?
Well, so, like you said, Ron and I have a big history, many, many years. And, he's kind of a mentor to me, I guess you'd call it, and everything that I ever do, I bounce off of him and get his opinion because it means a lot to me. So when Crashing Wayward started, I sent him Breathe. He liked it. Sent him Disco Kills. He liked it. Then I sent him Stranger Days, as you mentioned. And like a couple of weeks went by and I heard nothing from him. And I was like, oh, that's a swing and a miss, and then one day I get a phone call, which he's a busy dude and doesn't often pick the phone up. It's a text or an email,
Right.
And so seeing him on my phone, I was like, uh-oh. So I pick it up and he's like, you mother... You just ruined my day. And what happened? I just listened to Stranger Days. I just got around to doing that. And I've listened to it probably 12 times now. And I can't stop listening to it. It's one of the best songs I've heard in I don't know how many years.
Well, and his repeat button was broken on his computer. So
So he's like, man, this is huge. We need to talk. And then that's pretty much how it all started. And,
awesome.
Some people might say, well, you're friends with him, so he's, just signing you because of that. It is not that in any way, shape, or form. It's Stranger Days sealed the deal. And now that he's got to spend a little time with us, now he's really in. He's got to meet the guys. Him and Pete have spent a lot of time on the phone. And, he actually sent an email to us here a while back talking about how he was practicing for the day like he does every day. And he likes to learn new songs. And he spent the day learning Stranger Days. And wow. He wrote us an email that day that's like, I spent all day working on this song and the lyrics kill me. It's just a big, big, powerful song for me. So that was very humbling.
Yeah, I would say that's the ultimate compliment right there. And anybody who knows Ron Keel knows that you don't get a charitable thing.
No.
You need the talent. He will love you. He's a great loving dude. He cares about people. He's a great friend, like I say, to this show. But he's if you don't bring it, he's gonna give you for free.
Right.
You gotta earn your position.
And one thing that we liked, Scott, too, was that besides all that, Ron is very, very hardworking, and we knew that his label and the staff there are going to work their butts off for us. We're a priority, as opposed to maybe signing with a bigger label. Which is great, but you never know. It's a gamble. So we knew that we were in good hands.
Yeah.
And that was an appeal too for us as a band.
Totally. And Stacey, you've been around the block, LA Guns for 10 years or so, right?
Yep.
Roxx Gang, these are major label stuff. All of you guys have the business, and what you can tell the good guys from the bad guys now. And he's definitely a good guy, has been for many years. So it's great to have you guys on that label. Great things about to happen, man. Disco Kills, the latest single.
It was the last one, yes.
Last one. Last summer.
Yeah.
Summer of 21. God, where's the time has come?
How do you choose the next single? Is that that's got to be different. It's choosing your favorite kid, you got 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 songs. How do you choose the next single?
Rock, paper, scissors match.
Argument. Like, no, this one.
Dave picks them all.
We have
the magic 8-ball thing.
There you go. It is. It's a difficult thing,
Yeah.
List and
and there's really so many strong songs on this record. It's going to be. I know probably that label will want Stranger Days, but I mean we'll do something else besides that too. But there's a lot of strong songs, so it's going to be tough to pick.
Yeah.
But that's exciting too to have that option,
Yeah, I'd say, it's better than writing one or two good songs and the rest are filler. Tell me about the writing process. Now, you guys, you got different bands. Shon, you're with Stoney Curtis. You guys are all writers for one thing. David, you got LoveSick Radio. You guys are writing for different things. How do you choose what you're going to write for when you sit down, or do you just get something going and then choose which way it goes, which band it goes to? How does that, and how do you write? Do you write together? How's the writing process work for you guys?
I mean, I think it goes all different types of ways. The other day, Carl, me, and Pete got together, and Stacey came over. We're working on a new song that's going to be really cool. I mean, I know for when I write, there is a certain thing that I think this band is. So if I come up with like a musical landscape that I think will fit this, I'll usually like put that to the side, with the other stuff. I mean, kind of the bands kind of just dictate how they write. This band is more of kind of a modern rock with all those other influences to it, and 70s stuff, which I love. And, the other bands I am in are more like probably like the 70s rock era stuff. So I think they don't really, mix. So it's easy to put things aside. Yeah. But when we're all together, it's cool because the chemistry's there and it's really easy. I mean, the song we worked on the other day, it was like 5 minutes and we were done. I'm like, oh, okay, there we go. That was easy.
We've never really done that before. So that was kind of a cool experience because we've always written in separate areas, so to speak, where, if somebody has an idea, they'll kind of demo the format of it. And then we'll just kind of like go through that and add to it or change the arrangement or pick it apart. It's a really cool process from other bands that have been in with the writing process. This is like, it's like we're building this like just multi-layered cake, and everybody's got an open mind. That's what's cool about it, and it does work. The chemistry is there.
Yeah.
So, and it's interesting, with Breathe, I was talking about this in an interview yesterday, that Carl brought that song in and he'd been sitting on it for 10 years, but it was kind of more like a punk rock song in a different key. It was in G sharp. So we kind of just took that and completely dismantled it. And when we were doing pre-production, we were at Hideout recording studios, and Mike was like, how about changing the key? So I suggested drop D. So Dave and I had to kind of sit there and just let that sink in and transpose everything, and it took on this new life. That was really cool.
Yeah,
taking an existing idea and completely turning it inside out.
Yeah, and that's a group process too, which is
And I remember messing around. We were at rehearsal, and Dave was kind of doing this kind of little 2-note like U2 thing, and I go, "What is that?" Yeah, and he's like, I don't know. Dave he just pours out riffs at rehearsal. I've never seen anything like it. I'm like, what is that? He's like, I don't know, I'm just messing around. So he was doing this, and I'm like, keep doing that. And automatically, I think that's the intro into the song right there. And it just stuck. He came up with that part on the fly, and it worked. And I love those moments. So we have a lot of those.
You've heard stories of bands where it's like you walk into the room and it's like hit record and don't stop because you never know what's going to come out. This band is one of those.
Awesome.
When we're in rehearsals, there's all kinds of crazy stuff that come out that we're always like, what was that? What were you just doing? Like Stacey just said. But then if you were to talk to Mike Gillies, our producer, when these guys were going in there and laying guitar parts down, he just said, go. And
he throws stuff at you on the fly, and then you got to figure out what the hell did I play?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't believe the amount of tracks that he is sifting through to put this record together and it's subtle differences on guitar parts, and it's huge differences on guitar parts, and they all blend together and work, and it's a really cool process. Actually, I've never been in a process like this before.
It's cool, man. I mean, I don't hear too often anymore that guys are in the same room, much less writing together. So that's cool right there. That you guys actually get together and have a chemistry. That's really, a lot of people are seeing that as not a necessary thing anymore. And it works for some. It works better for others. I hear what you guys put out, and David, like I say, LoveSick Radio, kind of a grittier LA Guns thing. Shon's done Lazy Jane, Fever, Lost in the Moment, very LA Guns like.
Look at you.
Oh yeah. I know you. I know. And this guy, Who's Crying Now? Come on, man, that's just killer. Is that you singing that? The Who's Crying Now cover, Shon?
No.
Oh,
how did you find that?
It's a thing.
Man, no, that was a guy. That was a guy here in Vegas named Jeff who.
Holy shit!
It's sad. I don't know what happened to him. He is incredible, but yeah, that's a great track too.
He's not fronting Journey, right? It's still Arnell, right?
He should be.
Okay. He should be. Holy cow, man! It blew me away. Just really great. But back to what I was saying. That's what you did there with the Lazy Jane, kind of an LA Guns thing. Of course,
yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah, kind of that LA sleazy, gritty rock and roll thing. And of course, Stacey did LA Guns for a decade. Frady Cat, we won't forget that.
I did.
Yeah, I'll forget that.
But that's kind of in that realm too. Crashing Wayward, I don't get that. I don't really get any of that, really. It's pretty different. How does the Crashing Wayward style work its way into what you guys are kind of, I don't want to say used to doing, because you guys venture further out than that, of course. But it's it's different. It's different than anything that I know of that you guys have done. How did that style work in that?
I think it's like we all just, this is the kind of band we wanted. Me personally, I've been wanting to break free from my past for several years, and I've worked very hard to reinvent myself. I'm very proud of my past, but it's something that I wanted to just not be known for. That guy, was a replacement in LA Guns for 10 years. Yeah, I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of the records I did with Andy Johns. Produced those records. Very, very good. I wanted to do something that was a modern, different, and a little retro at the same time. And, all of our influences are common, but they're very different as well. And if you were to talk to Pete, like him and I both are big Duran Duran fans, early 80s new wave. I wanted to inject a little bit of that, but I wanted something kind of 70s bombastic that mixed kind of like what Stone Temple Pilots did with Cheap Trick and Queen and Clash and all those great legacy bands, and just create something that was like a canvas of sound that was modern. And that I can say that from my personal experience. But what's cool is that you have 5 different guys in this band that all have a wide range of influences. We all interject that. And that's why the band sounds so different. You don't sound a lot, you can compare it to other modern bands, but we don't sound like really any other band out there.
Yeah, I would agree totally. Yeah, like I say, it throws me back to the 90s a little bit, but not really. It's not Stone Temple Pilots redone, and it's not Soundgarden redone. It's got all those little different things thrown into a 90. Yeah, it's really great. I think we're getting a lot of each of you guys in these songs, at least of what I've heard so far.
And what's another thing that's cool too, Scott, is as far as from a guitar standpoint, Dave and I have a very unique sound together. Dave plays in a lot of alternate tunings, so when he does like these very awesome, cool riffs, they sound very different because they're in different tunings, and Dave can explain it a little more. Mixed with my parts that are usually in drop D, so you get this really interesting layer of unique guitar sounds, and we're very different players too, but it works.
Yeah. Now, Dave, do you play in those tunings to have a contrast to what Stacey's doing? Is that kind of, are you comfortable or just comfortable in doing that, those alternative tunings?
Oh, I do it for everything. It's just, I do it standards, fun too. The song we heard the other day is in standard tuning, but no, it's just me trying to be Jimmy Page or Joe Perry or Rich or Keith Richards, or Chris Robinson, all those people, Rich Robinson. Just like I love open strings and like just the different versions you get from messing with the strings and like what I don't like to think when I write, so I like to get out of that comfort zone. So it's in a weird tuning, I don't know what I'm going to do because whatever you're used to doing won't work, and so that makes me get out of my headspace.
That's a great concept, man. I never really thought about that. Change the instrument and then you're kind of lost, which is a good thing. Yeah, that's really cool.
Like in Disco Kills, Dan, you're in open E tuning, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so he's in open E tuning and I'm in standard tuning, but the sound of those two tunings together is we're playing different parts. So it's really cool. It kind of gives it almost this like White Stripes feel a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a great sound, man. I love what you guys are doing, man.
My snare drum was tuned to A on that song too, so that helped out a lot too.
I made this up.
Word is full-length records coming in early 2023. Anything more specific? It's finished, yeah?
We've got about 4 or 5 more mixes to kind of peruse through, but yes, finally coming to finish. So we're relieved about that. It's been a process.
I bet. Were you looking to accomplish anything specific with the record? Did you say to yourself, we want to make this a heavy record, or we want to put a lot of guitar solos, or we want big vocal harmonies, or did it just, was it organic? Did it just come out? Or, did you say to yourself, this is what I want out of these songs?
I think for me personally, like what I wanted out of this record or group of songs is just something that's really powerful that can compete in a world where there's bands like AC/DC, Stone Temple Pilots. I want us to reach for that level of greatness, and hopefully we get close, because if that's the goal, and if we fall just a little bit below it, I'm happy with that. Yeah,
I think it really just like, as the name of the band, Crashing Wayward, was just going in, just wide open, and just, hey, let's try everything we can. If it works, great. If it doesn't, I'm very proud of this record. I think it's the best thing I've done in my entire career. I'm very proud of everybody in this band, what they brought into it. The production's awesome. The songs are so strong, everybody's a really strong writer in this band. So it's just very different, and that's what's exciting but people connect with it. When we play live, we're a great live band too, Scott. So when we play these songs live, people are just like, their jaws on their floor, like holy crap, you know, and that's exciting from that aspect too. So I'm excited for next year. And my goal, I think everybody has the same goal in this band. We want to dominate, want to be successful.
Awesome.
We're going to be successful.
Yeah, I see it coming, man. I see it coming. Now, the album produced and mixed by Michael Gillies. This is Metallica's longtime engineer. That's what he's most known for. He's done other things,
Yes,
other things. But since the Black Album, this guy is,
no, since Load record.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, and that's a long time, big success, huge band, of course. What did you expect Mike to do for the sound of Crashing Wayward? Was it his Metallica lineage there, his history with them, that made you choose him? How did you bring Mike into the fold?
Well, Mike had done Electric Radio Kings record, my last band. So I already had a kind of relationship with him. So it just kind of evolved with him working with us. And it was, very drawn. I mean, like I said, we spent a lot of time. So I kind of knew what to expect working with him. But then the other guys had their own unique experience as well.
Yeah. Mike and I like to butt heads a lot because we both have opinions that are very strong. But doing that, we get some cool stuff. So I think that usually, like, I hear like this, well, I hear like this, and we'll meet in the middle, and that's how it should be. So
yeah, and I think that's healthy. Well, it's healthy in a relationship. My wife and I, we fight a lot.
It wasn't where it was just like go in and play this part. Mike would just throw things at you left, right, and center. Us and most of the time they were really, really good. Like just so many moments. But then there was other times it's like, you know what, it's not working. Or a couple of people in the band are like, hey, let's just keep pushing it. And then it's like, okay, I get it. It works.
Yeah.
But that's the great thing about the creative processes is like with other records I've done, you just go in, you play your parts. It's like the producer will have some input and then it's just done. Whereas this was like, it sometimes leave the studio like just seeing spots or just like close to tears from just trying something over and over and over and over again. And not many bands do that. That's why this took a long.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Ron Keel, of course, on the label. Does he have any input? Do you send him stuff when you're half done? Hey, we're working on this thing, or does he stay out of the whole musical process?
I think the record's pretty much finished when he got involved. So he's overheard some mix stuff. So I mean, I think we asked him a couple of things about Stranger Days and we were remixing that for like a little rotary effect in the beginning. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be cool moving forward, sending some stuff to him like, hey, what do you think of this?
People really trust us. He knows like we're strong writers and very strong band. So I think he's like, he already knows that of us. So it's more of an excitement. Like when we send him stuff and he's usually just like, my God, man, this is great. So it's kind of cool. It's like we're all kids again, it's like we're on this high on the baseball field. So it's a great situation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That excitement comes through. It's gonna come through in the music for sure. It always does. When you have that, that's why I think a lot of bands, the first couple albums are so usually have a fire that the later ones don't. You know what I mean? A band together for a long time starts to hone their craft and gloss it over a little more but it might lose. It's hard to keep that hunger and that fire for so long. They're great records. Like, I look at bands like Def Leppard or, Metallica even. The Kill 'Em All is a lot different than Hardwired. They're both great, but, one's got a fire in the belly that the other one is more thought out.
Very true.
They're both great records for different reasons. So this, you got that. There's that fire. I feel that. I can feel it. I can hear it in the couple of tunes. It's exciting, man. It really is. You got Keelfest 2 coming up, March of 23. You guys are in Nashville. You got another Arizona date in April of 23. Are you guys hoping to get together? You all have different things going on. You're busy doing all kinds of stuff, which is fantastic. I love to see you guys successful and making a living doing the great with your great talents. But are you guys hoping to put together a full tour of Crashing Wayward? Is that a possibility?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
So prospective agents out there.
Yeah, and I think that's something, us out of the music business, haven't toured or aren't musicians, fans don't realize the the logistics that come with a tour.
We're looking to, Scott, is really get on a tour with a bigger band as opposed to, I'd say, a club tour, which we're not opposed to doing. But we saw, playing in front of a bigger crowd was amazing. Played a show on the Strip at the Hard Rock on the Strip with Adelaide's Way, and it was packed. There was a lot of people, and we got so many fans that night. People were just like, holy shit, where did you guys come from? It was our third show, really. But we in our
hometown
past that night. Yeah. In town, yeah. So that we noticed something very unique that night. It's like, we need to do more of these type of shows.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. And you got Ron behind you. You got, the business. You guys, I'm looking forward to it, man. Make sure you make Chicago a stop somewhere close to the Midwest here.
I love
Chicago.
Yeah. Last time in Chicago during the winter, our trailer, it was so cold. Our trailer locks were frozen, so we had to get hot water to unfreeze them. So we had to load our gear, and then we got stuck in this parking lot. And we had our sound guy at the time. He's like, "Let's just jump the curb." So we just hit the curb with our van and trailer. Yeah,
it's good for the axle.
Yeah. Oh, that whole trip was crazy. It was like we got stuck in a hotel parking lot because we were staying downtown at the Marriott, and we went up this parking garage, super easy, but going down, it's feeling shorter. So and then it's tighter. The turns are tighter. So we had to get out of the van, and lift the trailer inches. So we get down. Wow. And there's so many cars behind us just wanting to kill us.
Oh my God.
I love it, man. Hey, that's all in Chicago, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, good deal. Yeah, it's memorable over here, man. No doubt.
Love Chicago.
Yeah, man. Come by and make some more memories, man. And I'd love to hang out with you guys and check out the show for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, very cool, man. Hey, you doors always open here. Release another single, get that album out. Come back and see me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Scott, for having us.
Very cool. Week. What was that, Dave?
I said we'll see you next week then.
You got it, man. Anytime. All right. Take it easy, guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Scott.
All right.
Bye, guys. See you guys soon. Yeah.